yàlla.
naka def.
yow foo jógee.
mbaa def la suma tool balaa wari woon.
man de man faa tëhi man.
yaa ngi toog di daa dégg son.
man faa tëhi di. man suma tool bi fa booy baaxatul.
xanaa doo dee use engrais fertilizer.
man loolu yow wuti ko foofu faa tëhi dem ca dépôt ba dafa wuti fa sori.
gis nga mbayum léegi boo amul fertilizer du baax de. engrais kenn jëndeetu ko ci def.
boo ko jëlee ci dépôt foo koy amee.
kay yaa ngi doog a ñëw. xam nga Reliance banque bi ñuy wax Reliance.
faa koy dégg waaw.
kay gis nga boo demee Reliance ci boppam. foofu ngay fayee. saako yi nga bëgg nu mu toll. nga fay ba pare ñu jox la sa receipt. gis nga receipt boobu ñu lay jox. moom ngay yóbbu nag ca dépôt ba.
kon fu ne ko dem ci dépôt ba te yóbbu la kay doo ko am.
déedéet.
fu ne su ma jógoon su ma xaalis ba dem ci dépôt ba dama am.
déedéet doo am. foog nga dem Reliance fay ba pare.
waaw.
soo ko dem nag ak sa receipt ca dépôt ba. waa Gambia Granite Corporation. lii la ñu wax.
yow fi ne fa nga jëm ni la.
waaw fa laay dem bi.
kon kay ni jàmm jox la nga jëndaaleel ma. ay yow man de fi di saako doon yàgg te dama ko xam.
maa la ko wax de.
boo xàggee jëndaaleel ma.
mbokk yi nii lañ ko bëggee waa Gambia Granite Corporation ñu ne saako engrais 700 dalasi dong lay jar muy juróom-ñaar téeméeri dalasi rek yomb na lool daw leen Reliance bu leen gën a jege si PMS tam dañuy jaay comme ni ko Reliance di jaayee boo fa demee dinañ la jaay te engrais bii pour réew mi kese la bëgguñ mu génn réew mi.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Here are 5 ways you can help combat stigma and discrimination as we fight against coronavirus COVID-19. 1. Educate your friends and family that COVID-19 is not specific to any race, nationality, or skin color. 2. Do not associate migrants with the virus. In many contexts, migrants are healthy and key players in nation building. 3. Remind others that discrimination may lead people to hide their symptoms rather than seek treatment. This puts everyone else at risk. 4. Be kind, considerate, and helpful to others in these difficult times. 5. If you know anyone experiencing symptoms, encourage them to dial 1025 for free.
It's a warm welcome in our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dado Chan. In the headlines tonight, members of the National Assembly reduced $1.3 billion from the Supplementary Appropriation Bill. Public Health Regulation 2020 replaced the state of public emergency. Commissioner Gorgimbut alleged of torture. 3,000 classrooms constructed across the country. Single mother scheme launched in the Gambia. On the international scene, Libya first responder recounts indiscriminate civilians killings. Russian Navy to get hypersonic nuclear weapons. Spain asks UK to exempt returning British tourists from quarantine. Those were the headlines, so now the news in details. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the Gambia National Assembly has cut down the sum of $1,360 million from the supplementary appropriation bill following thorough scrutiny by members of the committee. Jacqueline Colley reports.
It could be recalled that the Supplementary Estimates 2020 was tabled by the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs on Wednesday, 8 July 2020, in accordance with Section 153 of the Constitution, which states, subject to Section 154, if in respect of any financial year, it is found that the amount appropriated under the Appropriated Act is insufficient or that a need has arisen from a purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act. A supplementary estimate showing the sums required should be laid before the National Assembly before the expenditure has been incurred. The total sum of the supplementary bill was $3.3 billion and pursuant to Standing Order 68 was referred to the FPA Committee for review and report to the plenary. The National Assembly member for Upper Salum, Alajimbo, in laying the report of FPAC on behalf of Sidi Ajata, said the following submission of the bill, the committee is of the view that the supplementary estimates are meant to cater for COVID-19 and other related activities including salaries of some public enterprises and local government councils with salary arrears due to the pandemic, that the committee considered the deletion of humanitarian relief amounting to $845 million, procurement of medical equipment amounting to $500 million, and the construction of a mausoleum for $15 million. The committee argued that since the sum for humanitarian relief and procurement of medical equipment and supplies were already spent, the amounts could be removed as this is against Section 153 of the Constitution. Mbow said that the committee similarly recommended that the costs for the construction of mausoleum be deleted and deferred to the 2021 budget. He said the new items propose an increase of $250 million to the Health Ministry, approximately 11.5 to the Financial Reporting Oversight Board, and about $46.7 million as support to the councils. The committee, having thoroughly scrutinized and revised the supplementary estimates, recommends approval for the revised sum of about $2.6 billion as opposed to the original sum of approximately $3.3 billion. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee hereby submits for consideration by the whole House adoption of the 2020 supplementary estimates are revised, Mbow said. The amount proposed by FPAC was adopted and became the final supplementary budgetary allocation to the state to serve the purposes for which it aspires to address. Jacqueline Colley, reporting for Star TV News.
After the President had issued series of public emergencies pursuant to the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia for the past 5 months in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic in the Gambia is now governed by Public Health Dangerous Infection Diseases Protection Regulation 2020. These regulations have been promulgated by the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Amadou Samate, pursuant to the Public Health Act Cap 40.02 and the Quarantine Act Cap 42.03 of the laws of the Gambia. These regulations are made to empower public health authorities apply all necessary health measures geared towards preventing and containing the spread of dangerous infection diseases, including coronavirus. Under the regulations, the minister is empowered to declare the whole or any part of the Gambia as an infected local area and accordingly restrict or prohibit the movement of persons and vehicles, order the closure of borders during the period of restriction on movement, except for the transportation of persons performing essential services or obtaining essential supplies, restrict or prohibit mass gatherings of persons and order the temporary closure of public places, construct or designated spaces as quarantine and isolation centers for travelers coming from infected areas, other persons entering in the Gambia to bear the cost of their quarantine, and other compulsory wearing of face masks by all persons in public places. The government, in a press statement, assured citizens of safeguarding the lives of the people, especially the poorest and the most vulnerable, remains the immediate priority of President Barrow's government and its partners. With 48.6% of the country's population of 2 million living below an poverty line, it is imperative that government, partners and the citizens all take steps that will lessen the COVID-19 shock on the poverty level in the country and on vulnerable farming population, as well as women and youths operating in the informal sector. It is for this reason, and after consultation with the health experts and the Cabinet Subcommittee on COVID-19, that the President decided to lift the state of public emergency as of Wednesday, 22nd July 2020. While this decision is taken to reduce the hardship faced by households across the country and in consideration of other broader issues, the public is informed of the resumption of normal social and economic activities, albeit under stringent health and safety measures. Alleged assault meted out on one Ibrahim Masani of Brikama was said to have been carried out by the commander of the anti-crime unit, Commissioner Gorgi Mood, on Friday, 24 July at the headquarters of anti-crime unit. The torture led to grave bodily harm and hospitalization of the said victim. The police later debunked claim that Mr. Bob tortured Ibrahim Masani. Ibrahim Masani wrote a press statement published by Kirfato expressing his disappointment in the press release of the police on Facebook, dismissing the allegation that he was tortured by the anti-crime leader. Ibrahim said that he was tortured and that the publication of Poliso magazine contains numerous inaccuracies which are evidently wrong. It is important to know that Poliso magazine or the author of the release did not contact me to get my account of the incident, he said. Sane explained that he was at the Kanifing hospital by 5 in the early morning of Saturday, 25th July 2020, after being arrested around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the early hours of Friday, 24th July 2020 at Ice Lodge, with almost 30 other people. He said some of them were held in one cell and the next morning forced to weed grass in the garden and farm of anti-crime unit in Bijilo. As they continue weeding the grass, he mistakenly fell on a corn plant, and that was when Gorgimbub attacked him. He said that Gorgimbub punched him in the face and then snatched a hoe from his friend, which he used to hit him on his private part. That made him semi-conscious. He said that he was left in the field like that in pain for what felt like over 40 to 50 minutes without any medical attention. Sane added that when he got to urinate, he was in total pain and urinated abnormally, where he discharged what looked like blood. He was then sent back to the cell for further detention. And in his report, he said that he is also requesting that the police retract its statement denying his torture and launched a further investigation into the matter. The National Human Rights Commission said in a statement, the NHRC condemns all and any act of police brutality in its strongest term and wishes to remind the officers of the anti-crime unit and all security officers that no one has the right to subject anyone to any form of brutality, torture or inhuman, degrading punishment or other treatment. It is therefore worrying to hear news about police officers who are required to be the custodians of law and order, allegedly violating the rights of others. The police are to ensure that the rights of all who come into contact with them are respected and protected. The 1997 Constitution and other international instruments to which the Gambia is a party guarantees fundamental human rights of everyone living in the Gambia, and the Gambia Police Force, as an agent of the state responsible for the maintenance of law and order, is expected to exercise maximum restraint and ensure its actions are legal, necessary and proportionate. The NHRC is investigating the said allegation and will recommend the appropriate action to take to make sure that justice is done if it is established that any form of torture was committed. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, in collaboration with partners since 2018, built more than 3,000 classrooms across the country, initiated for quality education in the Gambia. This was revealed by Information Minister Honorable Lamin Silla in a press briefing. Jacqueline Collie now reports.
Honorable Silla noted that besides the 3,000 classrooms, The Education Ministry has also built 170 worker points, 700 modern teachers' quarters, toilets and solar panels. All these, he added, were initiated for quality education across the country. On the other hand, he added that in order to tackle the pandemic in the Gambia, the Ministry of Education embarked on an innovative move in providing quality education for all students in the Gambia by engaging various TV and radio stations to broadcast lessons from the month of March to June 2020. He stressed that in similar ways, prior to the advent of COVID-19, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education was engaged in activities aimed at increasing quality education in the Gambia in various ways. Meanwhile, the grade 9 students had resumed school and have started writing the Gabasi. However, the grade 12 students are on school but are expected to sit the WAS in August. Jacqueline Coley, reporting for Star TV News.
Gambia Single Mothers on Saturday launched a Single Mother Scheme Association with the motive of empowering single mothers across the country with skill training. Our reporter Mariama Dem attended the launching ceremony and she now reports.
Single mothers parenting has become rampant across the world recently, and the Gambia is not an exception. Reasons of becoming single mom include divorce, breakup, abandonment, and death of the husband, childbirth by a single woman or single person, adoption. The Single Mother Scheme was founded in April 2020 with the purpose of empowering single moms in the country by providing different skill trainings for them, which will enable them to obtain employment. Owing to the vulnerability of single moms and the challenges they continue to face in our society, the association deems it necessary to create a platform for all single moms in the country to express their experiences and empower each other by creating different skill training platforms to ease their difficulties in coping with single parenting and also to seek socio-economic development solutions. In addressing single moms during the launching of the association, Fatoumata Jame Jeng, founder of the Single Mom Scheme, explained the objective of the association. Fatima Bob, on behalf of the members of the association, said that being a single mother is misinterpreted in the Gambia, as many single moms are stuck with the responsibility of taking care of their children. She further urges all the single moms in the country to join the association. In encouraging the single moms to obtain skills, Ms. Jatumbai, a trainer for the association, had this to say. Gallup finds that about 1 in 8 women aged 18 to 60 worldwide, 13%, are unmarried and have children younger than 15 in their household. However, this figure is sharply higher in a few regions, especially Sub-Saharan Africa at 32% and Latin America at 24%. These findings are based on Gallup World Poll data aggregated from 2014 to 2018. The World Poll conducts nationally representative surveys annually in more than 140 countries and regions, representing more than 99% of the global population. The higher proportion of single mothers in Sub-Saharan Africa can be largely attributed to high fertility rates and young average ages of populations. The region's women tend to have a shorter life expectancy and more children on average than women in most other regions, and so they spend more of their lives raising children. Overall, 84% of all women aged 18 to 60 across Sub-Saharan Africa say they have children younger than 15 in their household. Widespread poverty also often leads extended families to cohabitate, so it may be more likely in low-income regions for women who have children in their household to be a relative other than their mother. Countries in Southeast Asia and South Asia also have high fertility rates, but relatively few women in these regions where traditional family structures remains the norm are unmarried. Mariama Dem, reporting for Star TV News.
Those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after this short break.
bar fenkil nañ jaxal jang nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi yang ko jaxal dafa malo mekel nyaadi
le jambando soto angare nying leo soto yake jang ila soto fe ngo fam be yiru wala
ye jambando
ha
woto alhamdulillah sa jambando mo sol la nyaadi le
sani moli abla kata fan kata depo nyinto hani ni futata je depo to sani buka wafi de ka kodo ta mo bulu ka boto dila wo bo sani wo botale sani mimbe kering wala nyinti ko reliance ibita wolto ye kodo jo ne kodo jo reliance ka risitol dila ba risito ni ngaku matal de wo risito ni adila e ka wole samba depo nyintu ne risito di yela jambando soto
comme ngi yek mo fu nyami ngamoyle nim fana bodo janko tenke mbira jambando sanna
GGC wole Gambia Groundnut Corporation wolle be mararen nyin jambando la kola ando ila nyin jang ngalo ne nyin jambando ni yake jang ifa mba fola nyela
tumando bar be jambando kayel fana ngaji be nim bodo ya mbita wolto mbita sekro direct nim tara ye rek be jambando sanna oto mbaɗigol ñewode ñul nadal kana mol dahandi GGC ka jambando data lambole fa dala se ceme worwula he ñomo altentu balde mbadi woto nimboru bayta ngata na jambando la ko do jo woto jang san sa mbe wutule ngata fo reliance nganna jambando la ko do jo jeto ngana risito ta ngata depo walla ngaji be CPMS katu ñindu la fulol de min suriyata na rek nin tara ngajo je benna jambando sotlag al nimbara bak ala baraka hey alhamdulillah ñomu ala tan dubal moro ñena metu abde no sanal
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
And now news beyond our borders. In Libya, where renegade military commander Khalifa Haftar has been accused of indiscriminately targeting civilians during an attempt to capture Tripoli. Doctors, healthcare workers and ambulance drivers have spoken of the terror of landmines left behind as Haftar's force retreated. Hamza Alisha, a first responder, tells Al Jazeera about what he has seen.
My name is Hamza Al-Ashar. I'm a first responder for the Ayman Al-Arama Field Hospital. It used to be just called a field hospital, but after Dr. Ayman was killed and martyred, we renamed the hospital in his name. The injuries from landmines are not like the injuries from battle. They are more horrific, much more horrific. We saw it. A person comes to you with his leg blown off, or an arm is missing. When this vehicle was shelled, Saddam was killed. He was an ambulance driver. We were going in and we were targeted. As first responders, we were targets by Haftar's forces. Dr. Malik and Dr. Muhammad were always with me. They were my dear friends. More than brothers to me. We met in this war. We were here on this front line, and a soldier told them there is a body lying close by. Haftar's forces put the body and planted a landmine next to it. They died trying to help him. In this war, we lost many of the great men we got to know. That is the most difficult thing, to lose your friends suddenly next to you. Dr. Malik was one of my dearest friends in our team, and we lost him.
Russian President Putin has said the Russian Navy will be armed with hypersonic nuclear weapons and underwater nuclear drones. The weapons set off with have yet to be deployed includes the President underwater nuclear drone designed to be carried by submarine and Zircon hypersonic cruise missiles which can't be deployed on surface ships. Al Jazeera Sonia Gallup reports.
On the Neva River, a show of Russian naval might. 200 vessels on display and more than 4,000 troops standing to attention for the country's top brass to hear promises of more investment. From warships to nuclear submarines, the St. Petersburg ceremony showcased the military modernization that Vladimir Putin has made his highest priority since the annexation of Crimea in 2014. The president using the occasion to announce dozens of new warships are on the way.
The capability of our Navy grows constantly. This year it will receive 40 vessels of different classes. Several days ago, 3 main Russian shipyards started the construction of 6 more vessels for the Far Seas. Unique advantages and the increase of combat capabilities of the fleet will be achieved by introducing the cutting edge of digital technology, hypersonic missile strike systems.
President Putin has said he doesn't want an arms race, but the newly touted weapons that have yet to be deployed would be a marked development of its current capability. But this is a country that is struggling financially. Its oil and gas-dependent economy has been stagnating for years. This year's pandemic has caused a major economic crisis. A boost to the Navy may mean financial sacrifices.
If you're not fighting a nuclear war, if you're in a limited conflict like in Syria, it's nothing much that the Russian Navy can do. It shows the flag, and that's more or less it. And of course it works on the logistics. That's also more or less it. And the admirals don't like it. The admirals want more, and they want more in the budget, but they have a formidable enemy, the Russian finance ministry that wants to cut the budget, and the Russian tank generals who believe that this is all fancy pants and you just need more tanks and guns.
Putin's message may be aimed at international rivals or to boost morale at home. Whether he can transform the energy of these displays to tangible results for the Navy will be the true test of strength. Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera.
Spain is asking the UK to exempt British tourists visiting the Balearic and Canary Islands from the requirement to self-quarantine on their return home. The British government is reimposing the 2-week rule after new outbreak of coronavirus in Spain. Al Jazeera Naba Badra reports from London.
London's Gatwick Airport and plenty of people flying off on holiday, but for those travelling to Spain, it's a confusing time. Faced with 2 weeks in quarantine on their return, this teacher and her husband decided to cancel their trip to the country's south.
Where we were going, there is no outbreak at all, so I don't understand why they haven't done like a regional lockdown. So like Madrid and Barcelona, like why would you not, shut those down and then leave all the touristy bits open?
And that's a question being asked by some travellers heading to London from Madrid.
I think it's really bad because it's just come all of a sudden. It's not given people much time to prepare, so everyone's now panicking. And I think it ruins plans for everybody.
Since the number of cases here in Spain are rising, I think it's probably a sensible measure, and I was expecting it, to be honest.
Spain recorded more than 900 new COVID cases on Friday, and major cities including Barcelona have seen a surge in infections, with health officials warning a second wave could be imminent. The British government says it had to act quickly to avoid reinfection and a possible lockdown, but the message from Spain is the country is safe for tourists.
Like in any other European country, we are seeing outbreaks. The outbreaks in Spain are perfectly controlled. We have 3 that are the most important outbreaks at the moment, in Barcelona, in Lérida, in Zaragoza. All of them are perfectly traced.
Europe's biggest travel company, TUI, has cancelled all holidays in mainland Spain for 2 weeks, but it's still flying people to Spain's Canary Islands and the Balearic Islands. It's questioned the need for people returning from those destinations to self-isolate. One Al Jazeera staff member who'd just travelled to Menorca says people there were surprised.
We were quite frustrated when we heard the news. The numbers here are very low. They've implemented a very strict lockdown here since the pandemic broke out. A very, very strict one, and people have not been able to leave their houses, and they've done really well at keeping the numbers down here in Menorca.
The real damage is likely to be to people's confidence in travelling, meaning a setback to the aviation industry and to Spain's tourism sector that accounts for 12% of the national economy. Here in Britain, the opposition Labour Party is calling for clarity on what support people going into quarantine will get. But what many people are asking themselves is whether this kind of risk will be part of foreign travel for the foreseeable future. Nadeem Barber, Al Jazeera in southern England.
And before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the Gambia's National Assembly has cut down the sum of $1,360 million from the Supplementary Appropriation Bill, following thorough scrutiny by members of the committee. After the President had issued a series of public emergencies pursuant to the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia for the past 5 months in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic in the Gambia is now governed by the Public Health Dangerous Infectious Diseases Protection Regulation 2020. Alleged assault met out on one Ibrahim Asani of Birkama was said to have been carried out by the commander of the anti-crime unit, Commissioner Gorky Mbub, on Friday 24th July at the headquarters of the anti-crime unit. The torture led to grievous bodily harm and hospitalization of said victim. The police later debunked claims that Mr. Mbub tortured Ibrahim Asani. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, in collaboration with our partners since 2018, built more than 3,000 classrooms across the country, initiated for quality education in the Gambia. This was revealed by Information Minister Honorable Lamin Silla in a press briefing. Gambian single mothers on Saturday launched a single mother scheme association with the motive of empowering single mothers across the country with skills training. On the international scene, in Libya, where renegade military commander Haftar has been accused of discriminatingly targeting civilians during his attempt to capture Tripoli, doctors, healthcare workers and ambulance drivers had spoken of the terror of landmines left behind as Haftar forces retreated. Russian President Putin has said the Russian Navy will be armed with hypersonic nuclear weapons and underwater nuclear drones. The weapons, some of which have yet to be deployed, include persistent underwater nuclear drones designed to be carried by submarine and the Zikron underwater nuclear missile, which can't be deployed on surface ship. Spain is asking the UK to accept British tourists visiting the Balearic and Canarian Islands from the requirement of self-quarantine from returning home. The British government reimposed the 2-week rule after new outbreak of the coronavirus in Spain. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us for tomorrow's news. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.